AC Milan are your winter champions. At the halfway stage in Serie A, they are top of the table, 2 points clear of Inter, despite the fact they lost 3-0 at home against Atalanta. Inter could only manage a 0-0 draw, meanwhile, away against Udinese. And Roma won a 7-goal thriller against Spezia, 4-3, moving them up to third in the table. Let's welcome in, shall we, Stewart, Robson to the show. Robbo, let's start with Milan against Atalanta. Talk about impressive. The visitors were brilliant.
They certainly were. They had a difficult first 10 or 15 minutes, but once they start playing their football and they get Ilicic involved, and he kept on coming in off that right-hand side onto his left foot. Zapata led the line brilliantly. Freuler back in midfield. Gosens down one side. Hatibor down the other. The three centre-backs defended really well as I've seen them defend for quite some while. They dominated the game. I mean, Derone in midfield kept on making challenges, and Milan couldn't get it into their front players enough. So Ibrahimovic was out the game for long periods. The young players who were playing in behind him, Leao and Meite and out on the other side, Castillejo, they couldn't get involved in the game. Kessie, for once, wasn't able to dominate midfield. So I thought it was a brilliant performance by Atalanta. And they are the informed team at the moment. And if they're to pick their best side against Udinese and Roma earlier this week and last week, they would be right up with the front runners.
But of course, it is Milan at the moment who are the front runners. It's interesting. Is this them regressing to the mean slightly, Robbo?
Yes, they're a good side, but they're not a great side. You know, when you think you've got Ibrahimovic, who's 39 and he's having to lead the line, the three young players that have played in behind on several different occasions, whoever it is, Diaz came on. I don't think he's going to be quite good enough to take them to the next level. Salamaca's got sent off last week. I don't think he's quite good enough at the moment. Castillejo had a good game in midweek against Cagliari, didn't play quite so well today. Meite making his first full appearance, didn't really impress. So they're a side that can improve, but they've still got some young players that need to improve quickly. And Tonali, I don't think, dominated the midfield, and that's why Kessie had a problem today.
What impressed you in Milan, though, after that defeat, which, not forget, was their first domestic defeat against Juventus? They bounced back, didn't they? They got the win against Torino, got the win against Cagliari as well. So after this defeat, Robbo, you would be hoping for the same sort of mentality going forward. Do you think they can get themselves together, they can regroup, because it's against the smaller teams in which they've picked up those crucial points this season?
Yeah, and I think they need some of their players back. They need Çalhanoğlu back. They need Rebic, who came on as a substitute. They need him back. They've got Mandzukic now to help out Ibrahimovic if he needs to be swapped at any point. So I think they've got the mentality. Pioli has done a really good job mentally with them. He's a good coach as well. They've got exactly what they're trying to do, but he's also got them on that even keel. So when they do lose games, they don't panic too much. They come back again. So I think they'll certainly put in good performances, but I still don't think they're quite good enough to win Serie A.
And for Inter, meanwhile, of course, missing the chance to go level on points with Milan at the top. After that great performance against Juventus, they just couldn't get it done today, particularly in front of goal, Robert. They had chances.
Yeah, they did, but I thought Udinese defended really well. And that's the problem that Inter are going to have now. Everybody knows how they want to play. They want to get it into the front two, and with their backs to goal, and other players go and join. And Udinese played with a back three, and two of them man-marked Lukaku and Martinez. They had a holding midfield player who sat in front of them. So every time the ball went past him into the front players, he came off the front and tried to win it back. It was all too tight. The one player that had a little bit of freedom was Hakimi down the right-hand side. When they switched play quickly or got it into the front and went wide quickly, he had the chance to pick out passes. And his final ball, a bit like we've seen Alexander-Arnold in recent weeks, his final ball, despite having many, many crosses, wasn't quite good enough. And I didn't think Lukaku and Martinez sort of changed their game enough. They needed to spin in behind every so often, so they then could have space in front. So it was a disappointing performance from Inter, and a chance that they've missed to go level with Milan.
Yeah, great opportunity. Meanwhile, for Napoli and Juventus, who as it stands have 2 games in hand over both the Milan teams, they win those matches, and boy, do we have a title race, Robbo.
We certainly do. It was a great result. Well, these 2 games were great for Napoli and for Juventus, and of course for Atalanta, who I still say are one of the top teams at the moment. They're playing they've got great form. They're opening up any team that they play against, so they're still in the title race. Juventus, I think they'll win against Bologna tomorrow. I think they've got every chance of doing that, and it will be a fascinating second half to the season. I'm really looking forward to it.
Who would the Robbo riches be on?
I'm still going to go with Inter. I think they're a side that
and you love Conte.
They'll eventually take some of the chances.
It's only because you love Conte, Robbie, that's it.
Of course. Of course, I think he's the best coach. I think he knows what his game plan is. They've just got to start taking some of those chances. And if things aren't quite going right, just vary their play slightly from going into the front to keep switching the play out to their wing-backs. And I think they're the team to beat.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.